this is an interesting room. So when you come in here, you can either go left or right. Both areas will lead you to these racks. The one on the left has battle rifles and rocket launchers. This one over here has the saw, which is a cool looking gun, but if I'm completely honest, it's fucking useless. I really don't like this weapon at all. Like, the only time I've seen it be useful is against the flying, like, sentinel shield things, the watchers I think they're called. I'm not too sure about names, guys, I do apologise. I've owned this game for less than 24 hours, and I've literally done nothing but sit down, beat Legendary, sit down, beat what you're watching now to record, and then edited and commentated. So, like, I'm not even supposed to be up at this time, but I'm not even going to go into it. I had to be up so I could receive a parcel for my mum, and yeah, my brain's just not functioning at all. I need at least 10 hours of sleep into antisocial times. It's just not even funny. But I'm using this rock over here to pick off the snipers, pick off the dudes. There is still a ghost knocking about, and you can use the rocket launcher to kill the ghost if you want. It'll make a lot of sense. I'm going to be taking this extremely slow, guys, mainly because I died, I think, 2 or 3 times here just through being really reckless. And one thing I noticed about this game is on some of the bigger firefights, the checkpoints don't seem to be as frequent as I'd like. So sometimes you do have to do a lot of shooting again, and yeah, the best way to stop frustration is to not make those same mistakes and to get past these sections with less deaths. I can honestly say that of all the areas I died in, I don't think I ever died more than 2 or 3 times. So nothing on this game compares to some of those moments from the past games where it's literally been, how the fuck do you do this? There are a couple of moments that feel like it's going to be tougher than it is. For instance, there's one sequence where you have to guard a door while Cortana's opening it, and you're being introduced to the new enemies, and they throw a lot of enemies at you, and if you don't have ammo to deal with that situation, it kind of feels really unfair. The one thing they don't tell you is you can really break the scripting and the pathing of the AI so that they don't ever rush you. And that's one of the things that I do think this game does badly. The AI is very binary in it. Unless you're taking on something with a melee weapon, nothing really rushes you. They all kind of stand back and hide. Like, elites especially, if you've got an elite and he's 10 yards away from you, he'll just hide. He'll run away. If you start shooting him, he'll run away to get his shield back. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's realism and all that kind of stuff. It's intelligent AI. Bitches, man. They're all bitches. Full on 100% bitches at times, and it's really annoying. And especially if you've got a lot of enemies and you don't have some good guns to deal with them. And this is a real bad situation. Like, look at that. Shoot him and then punch him and he's still going. And he nearly killed me. And you'll notice I wasn't best pleased with him. And I got shot while I was punching him, which was a mistake, because I would have had to do that entire courtyard again if that had have killed me. But yeah, the battle rifle, this gun is great. I'm a massive fan of it. But I'm a fan of anything that's triple burst in games where accuracy matters. And that's the thing why I've never understood why you can't carry a lot of ammo for these guns, because this game is at its most fun when you're using these kind of weapons. And I do wish they'd introduce a new system, or just iterations on this remaining system. Like, it'd be nice to just carry one gun but have twice the ammo in it, or decisions like that. Like, for instance, if you pick up a gun and there's a bunch of other guns on that shelf, why not carry more ammo for it? And as soon as I pick up a second gun, discard the ammo. Let me have a system where I can choose to intentionally handicap myself to have more ammunition. Like, I don't see the importance of making you scour the battlefield for guns. I really don't. Like, one thing I've really loved about Call of Duty, and I know people who are Halo fans are probably going to hate the fact I've mentioned Call of Duty on a Halo game, but they give you a gun with generally 500 bullets in it, and every enemy goes down in 2 to 3 bullets, so that gun is enough to do you for the entire level. And you never get yourself into a situation where you blame your gun. You never do that. And on Halo, that's all you do. If you ever get in a spot where you're struggling, you're getting smashed, and you can't kill things, it's always your gun. It really is. And they do say a bad craftsman blames his tools, but on Halo it's just fucking par for the course. Like, if you're in a real bad spot, there's a particularly bad spot at the end of the game where you have to press a button, but to get to this button you have to activate an elevator, and when you activate this bridge, it spawns effectively 5 or 6 elites, although they're not elites, they're these new enemies. And these new enemies can take anything between a decent amount of damage and a titanic amount of damage, and there's no middle grounds. So each one of these things can easily kill you. Each one of these things can tank all of your ammo, and you've got to kill about 5 in a row. And it turns what should be a really fun, really tense, you know, late game battle into this ammo scavenge. And it completely diminutized its value because I spent half the fight looking for a fucking gun. And do not take this as a you know, a complaint or a constraint against the game, because this is something Halo's always done. If anything, this is a part of Halo as much as the Covenant is, because it's something that they've always had. It's the way the mechanics have always worked, and it's one of the things that's always rubbed me up the wrong way, because I don't like blaming my tools. And this goes back to a lot of things in a lot of guides that I've made. And I do think it's an important part of balancing difficulty. And a lot of the reasons why people either think this game is difficult or people think this game is easy is entirely indicative of the setup that they're using. And I know that that can be true for a lot of games, because, you know, just look at an RPG. Every boss on an RPG is easy if you've got a good setup, but that's kind of the point, and that's kind of where the difficulty is. In a first-person shooter, it should be less about your guns so much so as it is about your gun skill. And when they blur the line between skill and equipment, that can definitely be frustrating. Like this here. I assume that enemies that ship's just dropped a bunch of enemies. Why does it shoot at you? Why does... Look how much damage it does. If that thing had hit me with those barrages, I would have been fucked. And all because I pushed into an area when it was spawning enemies. Not a fan of that shit. That shit's bullshit to me. This is 2 hunters though. You do not run into the same amount of hunters that you do in the other Halo games, I've noticed. I think I've only seen maybe 5 of them. And it doesn't seem to be as important to pick your shots with the hunters on this game, because you always seem to have a weapon that does a lot of damage to them. For instance, this is explosive, so I know I can spam this gun and still do damage to him. The one thing that I do think is criminal, which I don't know why they've changed, is the essential noob combo of the hunters where you could one-shot them with the Magnum. I personally think that was the coolest thing about this enemy. You had this really defensive, really aggressive, really damaging enemy that could be insta-killed if you knew how to do it. And if I ever make a game, guys, and I'm ever a creative director or any part of the creative process of how the game plays, every boss in my game will be able to be one-shotted or insta-killed. But it will be such a specific and difficult thing to do, only the elite will be able to do it. Because that's the type of, you know, sequences that I believe in. That's the type of boss that I find would be cool. Because why should we have to shoot a boss 500 times when we could focus on dodging him, waiting for the optimum moment where there's a window of opportunity, and then taking it with good accuracy, and he only takes 3 shots? Like, I don't know, some gaming, you know, innovations that are now pretty much redundant cliches need to change. But this is the end of the level, guys, and I will see you in the next video. So thanks for watching, and as always, you take care now.